the cleats, hit the court, take the swing. From football fields to hoops, we cover everything. Bases loaded, birdies sinking down the green. Pickleball, paddles popping, you know what I mean. But when the scoreboard's done, we ain't calling it a night. We flip the script and dive into the crypto light. Bitcoin's bouncing, all coins in flight. With 3 waves, we break it down right. Sports and crypto, the ultimate blend. Stay locked in, we set the trend. This is all sports and crypto. Let's begin.
Hey everyone, welcome back to All Sports and Crypto. I'm Katie Randall, and I'm here with my co-host, Crypto Dan. Dan, I gotta say, this week felt like a doubleheader for the ages. Champions crowned, dynasties built, and, honestly, I'm still buzzing from all of it.
Yeah, Katie, it's been wild. I mean, LSU Tigers, 8th College World Series title. That's not just a win, that's legacy stuff. And then the Thunder, finally bringing an NBA championship to OKC. I don't know which one had me more hyped.
Let's start with LSU. I mean, sweeping Coastal Carolina in Omaha, going 5-0 in the CWS, and Cade Anderson throwing a complete game shutout in Game 1? That's the kind of pitching you dream about. I still remember those pressure cooker moments from my own college days, standing in the circle, knowing one mistake could end your season. Anderson just looked unflappable out there.
Yeah, and then in Game 2, they put up a 4-run fourth inning. Anthony Ianson gets his 12th win, and they close it out 5-3. Coach Jay Johnson called it tough and together, and you could see it. That's 2 CWS crowns in 3 years for LSU, second most in NCAA history. That's dynasty territory, right? And, as LSU fans say everywhere you meet one, go Tigers.
Absolutely. And it's not just talent, it's that relentless team mentality. I mean, I know I'm biased as a former pitcher, but you can't win these things without everyone buying in. It's like, you feel the weight of every pitch, every at-bat. I remember, in regionals my sophomore year, I was so nervous I could barely tie my cleats. But you look around, see your teammates locked in, and it just grounds you. LSU had that vibe all series.
That's the same energy I saw with the Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 29 points, 12 assists in Game 7, and he takes home both regular season and finals MVP. But it wasn't just SGA. That young core, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, they're set up for years. And, 68-14 record? That's a franchise best. Feels like the start of something big in OKC.
Yeah, and you could see how much it meant to the city. 17 years since the team moved to OKC, and now they're hoisting the trophy. I did feel for Indiana, though. Tyrese Halliburton going down early with that Achilles injury that definitely swung the momentum. But, that's sports. Sometimes it's about who can weather the storm.
Analysts are already calling it a new dynasty, and honestly, with all those draft picks and that young core, I wouldn't bet against them. It's funny, we talked last episode about how volatility and pressure shape both sports and crypto. This week, it's like we got a masterclass in both.
Totally. And, as much as we celebrate the stars, it's always the team behind them. Whether it's a bullpen arm or a bench player, or the guy setting the screen, championships are built on those little moments. Okay, I'm getting sappy, but I can't help it. Let's shift gears, Dan. The crypto world had its own fireworks this week. Here's a little public service announcement. When we discuss cryptocurrency, we are not providing financial advice. We are not financial advisors, so please do your own research before investing in anything. I hope that we made that clear.
Oh, for sure. So Michael Saylor, he's back at it. At Bitcoin Prague, he dropped this wild prediction, Bitcoin at $21 million in 21 years. That's a lot of zeros. He's saying the U.S. is embracing Bitcoin, regulatory winds are shifting, and companies are piling in. Strategy, his company, just bought another $1 billion worth of Bitcoin last week. That's not small potatoes.
Yeah, and it's not just Saylor. The number of public companies holding Bitcoin has doubled since early June. Over 240 firms now. That's almost 4% of the total Bitcoin supply. It's like corporate adoption is the new altcoin season, if you believe Adam Back. I always wonder, though, are we seeing a real shift, or is this just another hype cycle?
I mean, the price action's been strong. Bitcoin's hovering around $102,000, up over 2% intraday. Ethereum's at $2,085, up almost 4%, and ETF inflows are still coming in, which is keeping things pretty stable, even with all the macro noise. But, I remember my first big crypto buy. 2019, right after a run-up. I thought I was a genius, then watched it drop 30% in a week. Chasing trends can burn you, but this feels different. There's real institutional appetite now.
Yeah, but it's still crypto, right? Volatility is the name of the game. I mean, we talked about this in our first episode, dollar cost averaging, not getting swept up in the hype. But I do think the regulatory side is interesting. The U.S. is moving on bills like the Genius Act and the Bitcoin Act. That's a big deal for long-term confidence.
And it's not just the U.S. You've got companies in Europe and Asia raising hundreds of millions to build Bitcoin treasuries. It's like everyone wants a piece. But there's still debate about self-custody versus trusting banks. Saylor actually reversed his stance on that. Now he's saying self-custody is good for those who can handle it. The community's still pretty split.
Yeah, and I think that's where the sports analogy comes back in. You need a game plan, but you also need to trust your teammates, or in this case, your tech and your community. Sometimes you're the ace, sometimes you're just hoping the bullpen doesn't blow it. Speaking of teams, let's talk about what's happening in Web3. Meta Earth just dropped some serious upgrades.
Right, Meta Earth Network 2.0. This is a big one. They've launched a modular blockchain ecosystem, so you've got separate layers for execution, settlement, and data. That means more scalability, lower costs, and better security. Plus, they're rolling out a bunch of incentives, airdrop rewards, staking, community events. It's all about getting people involved and making the tech accessible.
Yeah, and the cross-chain stuff is huge. They've got this multi-blockchain communication protocol, so you can move assets between chains, do instant withdrawals, and even earn rewards for catching fraud. It's like the whole system is built on collaboration, kind of like a sports team, honestly. Everyone's got a role, and the incentives are lined up, so the community actually wants to help the network succeed.
Exactly. And with the new ME-Pass 3.0, users can manage NFTs, stake tokens, and even earn passive income just by checking in or referring friends. They're also doing global events, like Istanbul Blockchain Week, WebEx Asia, Token 2049 in Singapore. It's not just about the tech, it's about building a real community. That's what's going to drive the next wave of Web3 innovation.
It's funny, the more I look at these projects, the more I see that team mentality from sports showing up in crypto. Whether it's a championship run or a new blockchain launch, it's always about people working together, trusting the process, and pushing through setbacks. I do wonder, though, which model wins out in the long run? The decentralized, everyone has a voice approach, or something more top-down? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and as we've seen both in sports and crypto, the landscape can change fast. But if there's one thing that sticks, it's the power of community. On the field, on-chain, or anywhere else. That's what keeps me coming back, even if my knees won't let me play anymore.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of All Sports and Crypto. Thanks for hanging out with us. Whether you're here for the championships, the market moves, or just the banter, we'll be back next week with more game changers and maybe a few surprises. Dan, always a pleasure.
Always, Katie. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and let us know your thoughts. See you next time.
It's Clay. From the field to the chain, we run the game. Talk touchdowns, home runs, pickleball fame. Hoops and greens, the highlight plays. Then flip the switch to crypto wave. Bitcoin buzzing, markets fly. All coins rising, DeFi high. Sports and crypto side by side. All sports and crypto, your trusted guide. We break it down, we keep it clear. Tune in next time, we'll be right here. All sports and crypto, we're out for now. Hit that follow, we'll show you how.